invading you now. You know, to free you from Spain's colonial rule.
Okay, so are you gonna make us a state then?
Ooh, funny. We haven't even considered that. Well, no, at least. Not yet. Let's see what the future holds.
All right, fast forward and scene. So we're 100 years later now. This is the third vote that Puerto Rico has had over that 100 years about their status. And this vote, 2.5% of people said they wanted to be independent, their own country. 46% said statehood, and 50% said none of the above. Because 50% said none of the above, the U.S. basically didn't change Puerto Rico's status. All right, now we're in 2012, and action.
Okay, we're gonna vote again. I know, but we're shaking things up. We're gonna ask two questions. First, do you want the current status to change? And second, what would you want the change to be? You want a majority? We'll give you two. One against the status quo, and one for statehood.
I don't know, Puerto Rico. Two questions, if and buts. Now you're the one making things needlessly complicated.
It's not that hard, but if you'd rather actually get involved this time, dictate the process, approve the alternatives, that would totally be fine with us. Just make it a binding, congressionally approved vote, and we'll do it however you want.
Sorry, Puerto Rico. You can't just ask us to do that. We're the United States government. We just don't meddle in other nations' politics.
Have it your way, but when statehood wins, don't come tell us the process was too convoluted and confusing, and that doesn't represent a real majority.
And break. They have their votes. Okay, the one we looked at the start of class. This is 2012. The first question, should we keep the status quo? Remember, 54% of people say no. You shouldn't stay as a territory and keep the status quo. Second question, what should be the new status? 61% of people say statehood. But there's a catch. Remember, what was the catch? 27%. It wasn't necessarily didn't vote. The ballots were considered either invalid or blank. So yeah, some of them might have not voted on the second question. Maybe they only voted on the first one. Some of them maybe like filled it out wrong. Maybe they filled in two bubbles or something like that, right? Or you've taken like a test before, right? Like maybe they filled in a Scantron, incorrectly. Whatever it was, 27% of the votes were considered invalid or blank. Okay? And action, last scene.
We did it! We finally did it! There's your majority against the Commonwealth. There's your majority for statehood. Get that 51st star ready for the flag.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold your horses, Puerto Rico. I'm looking over these results, and I gotta tell you, they look pretty convoluted and confusing to me. Two questions. Who does that? What does it all mean? You got all these blank ballots on the second one. If you do the math, statehood didn't really get majority.
But who counts blank ballots?
We do, if we feel like it.
It's kind of starting to seem like you're not taking the will of our people very seriously.
How dare you? Oh, okay.
And action, all right, great job. Round of